Good evening, everybody. USA forecaster JD Rapp with you. Is going to give you a severe weather briefing for tomorrow, November 29th, 2020. Right now, I'm recording this at 9:53 p.m. on a Saturday evening. So we do have the risk of severe weather tomorrow. Basically, over here, Alabama, Mississippi, parts of Louisiana, a little bit, and a low-end threat of severe weather. Now, I won't be surprised if this gets upgraded parts of the area to level 2, so we would have to watch out for a slight. So here's our main impacts tomorrow. Here's the tornado risk, over 2% tomorrow, but we could see a tornado. So we definitely going to have to watch this tomorrow, or maybe even a isolated tornado tomorrow. So we're going to have to watch that as it goes on. So that's one thing. So 2% tomorrow of a tornado and 25 miles a point. So we're going to have to watch that. Damaging winds tomorrow are about a 5%. We're going to have to watch for winds tomorrow. Some wind gusts tomorrow afternoon, and the possibility for hail is very little. So reading from the thing, isolated strong thunderstorms tomorrow with a couple tornadoes, main threats. Storm Prediction Center has been monitoring this for the last couple days tomorrow. For the Storm Prediction Center has been monitoring this for the last couple days for a chance of severe weather. We could have a slight risk get released. We'll have to see what the SPC says overnight. I will be making one more of these tomorrow morning on the situation. So what I'm going to do is hide this and type in one of my tools that I do use and go down here to some of the equipment that I do use here. So we'll see let's check the NAM, and I'll put down here, this is where we track in tomorrow. And you can see, here's some of the photographs, but we do the sounding, it shows none. So we gotta have to watch that. They're still showing me some wind shear, so we got storms going. I think it'll be tomorrow afternoon, but we do see any. If it happens, the NAM don't say much. I'll look at the sounding. But I'll pull up one of our tools that I like using called the Significant Tornado Parameters. And here we got going. We do have a couple storms tomorrow. Now we're starting showing Sunday afternoon. We do have this yellow color. Basically, it's significant. Anytime you see the yellow color, it's basically significant. And yeah, we're going to have to watch maybe for a couple tornadoes. There's some shear there we have to watch, and it increases through the night into Monday as this continues within weeks. And there's some Tuesday afternoon we have to watch too. Monday afternoon we could have a couple more storms, and that's all. Now we look at the HRRR model. This is a new the model, the best model, but we do use. It hasn't came out yet all the way to look at it, but I could take a look at it right here and pull up the significant tornado parameters, and they show very little at the time. So yeah, there's some ingredients tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, but here's the last run we did, the 0Z model, and this will take it through what we need to look at here. And you can see there is some ingredients tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning. There could be a little orange. And yeah, we're going to have to watch these because there is some chances for isolated supercells, especially anything in this red color. Yeah, goodness gracious. Because any of these colors could be significant, and yeah, we're starting to get some reds. So I could just tell you, there is definitely some potentially for rotating thunderstorms tomorrow. And there's no no guarantee we'll see storms like this. These will rotate. They got the potential to have colors in there, and there's just a couple of these little dots. We would definitely have the potential tomorrow for rotating thunderstorms with these little dots here. So we're going to have to watch that. So what I'll do is go back here, and you can see all even long. Now you can get in some pinks. So yeah, this is getting pretty decent. There could be some strong updrafts tomorrow, and these would produce tornadoes. So we definitely have storms to work with tomorrow. Wind shear, cape. Um, we do got turning to get storms going. So there's no guarantee that we have that. So if this all plays out and these red colors, we got storms of rock and roll around here. So we definitely have that potentially to see rotating thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon that could produce tornadoes. Because I'm looking at right here, that was one model run. And you can see it just never slows down a hair. So we would definitely get into more even where tornado peak season hitting in the afternoon. So yeah, there is potential of seeing tornadoes. Let's look at supercell composite. This is what dropped your tornadoes half of the time. Not always, but most of the time it does. And yeah, goodness gracious. Are you kidding me? We're starting to see, yeah, some orange. So that'll be almost a 4. I'm curious what it looks like. It's getting over a 7. So yeah, there is potentially, but we'll see storms tomorrow. That ain't a problem. Because we certainly see red and these colors here. That would indicate some potentially seeing some rotating storms tomorrow, and we got it. I mean, just don't be saying we don't, because we got storms that can rotate tomorrow. And this what this model showing here, that's earlier, but we'll pull some new model data up, and yeah, we got it right here. So I'm gonna see if the new model data is loaded. It takes time, and this is just a HRRR, so it's always the goodest model sometimes. But here's our significant tornado parameters, and it hasn't loaded, but maybe it will later tonight. And yeah, it's starting to get these orange colors. So yeah, we definitely have the potentially tomorrow of rotating storms to get going. There's no guarantee, but I tell you, there is the potentially a rotating thunderstorm just looking at it. And here's a updraft heuristically. This is if you can get storms turning. And I'm going to take a look at that one model we just looked at. And this will tell you more. This is if you can get storms to rotate and get going easy from updrafts and easy like that. This just picks it up where they could be, maybe 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and yeah, goodness. Like here by 10, we're starting to see these some green colors. So yeah, we're getting storms here. These little lines here, these could. This is where we could see storms that could rotate. So there's guarantee, but we'll see storms tomorrow, but we'll rotate definitely. It's not a problem because we already starting to see these little dots. These will be rotating thunderstorms. All right, we got Isaac Schaff here joining us. So, Isaac, can you hear me?
Yes. I see you have some data there from some guidance there.
Hold on just a second. Let me pull up. Oops, I hit the wrong button here. Sorry about that. All right. I'm going to pull up the significant tornado parameters one more time, and we'll see what you think about them. Here is the early.
Yeah, you can see the effective inflow kind of as it parallels that little axis. You get that as that upper low. As that upper system pushes through the Mississippi Valley, you see the STP values are highest just immediately east of that. That's the highest instability axis, and then kind of factoring those ingredients, it pushes only slightly inward. You see those green colors, which that's kind of the high values. I can't really see.
Yeah, I see red too.
But I can tell.
I see red too.
Okay, Red, I mean, don't always assume that's the chance that you're going to see a tornado. Again, there's no guarantee that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. That's what I mean. That's this is only one interpretation of how you view these models, but there is, uh, just given the guidance that I've been seeing throughout the day, um, if we have plenty of elevated instability favorable for storms, and then definitely some strong low level
Mm.
shear, potent shear that's in place. And I mean, um, if we get if we get much higher surface based instability tomorrow, I believe the trends have been suggesting it's been upping the threat a little bit, and then or I'd have to look a
Okay.
little bit closely, but I mean, this
All
will
right. You got.
likely evolve as a multi-cell cluster with some discrete areas ahead of the main line. That's going to be where the highest tornado threat will likely be if we do see
Okay.
it.
You got some models. All right. You got any
So it would likely be
models
closer to
for
the Florida
anybody to show so
Panhandle.
we could?
So if they do introduce a slight risk, it
Can you
would
see it?
probably, yeah, if they do introduce a slight risk, it would probably be sections of the panhandles of Florida up to Georgia. But I mean, that's the area where I think the highest low level instability will be in place if we do get enough trends, probably out towards Mississippi a little bit as well. I think the southern part of the state as well. Just it really,
Okay.
we'll have to watch trends, and the SPC has been monitoring uh, these particular areas for a possible upgrade, and it is not that it's a guarantee or
Okay.
anything, but I will point out that uh, I believe if we do get enough frontal convergence, particularly with the if we do get enough upper level support with lift and everything, especially based off the low levels, and then there's definitely
Mm-hmm.
strong vertical shear to talk about as well with this particular system that
Mm-hmm.
we're watching for tomorrow and into Monday, as that upper level system tracks from the Tennessee Valley towards the Appalachians into sections of the East Coast. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Again, I believe the concern for tomorrow will likely mostly be elevated storms, probably that may produce, um, again, initially a hail threat, but I mean the tornado threat will probably evolve as we get stronger downdrafts with storms, and then more surface-based heating and lifting and whatnot. So what you're
All right. I got
seeing
some tools
there is
I
the,
pulled up here. So you want me to look at for wind shear?
well, yeah, I mean that is the effective shear you're probably pulling up. That's the bulk shear product, around 500 millibars, or down towards, or that's mid and upper level
Look at that.
shear. So, yeah, I
Look at
mean
here
that
tomorrow. There's
is,
a.
you can see a little bit of a jet streak evolving. You can see that those colors, red and purple. You kind of got a little bit of a jet streak forming there. That's mid and upper level shear, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really see the specific product you're viewing, but we got a little bit of a
Here, I can
boost,
fix that.
and you know how things could advect. Oh yeah, I can see that a little bit better. Yeah, that's HREF. That is actually storm relative helicity. As that is very helpful in determining the potential tornado risk. And as you can see, this is 0 to 1 kilometer. And I can't really see the scale, but what do the purple colors identify on that map? I would assume
Okay. Let
probably.
me. That's
Oh
over
yeah.
800. No,
So yeah, looks
the
like,
pink means
so
400.
we have,
So 400 enough to get a storm going in it.
well, sure. I mean, Obviously, we'll have to see if we do get any surface-based heating. Obviously, there's plenty of low-level shear available. You can tell based off of that 400 meters squared per second square. That is basically an almost U-shaped curve between 0 and that is not much of a distance. You got very strong low-level shear there, and then low-level directional shear even that. And obviously,
we got something
if
from
we get
Ian here.
downdrafts with those storms and surface-based heating, effective inflow, we're definitely going to be talking at least a couple of tornadoes tomorrow. As if that does turn out, we'll have to watch the trends. I see Ian is asking signals for a winter storm system in the near future. I like how you described the monster thing, but we'll have to watch the model guidance. And so I mean, in the feature. So I mean, obviously this same system, basically this strong upper level system, as it tracks into the Ohio Valley towards the areas east of Lake Michigan, towards Lake Huron. I mean, that's going to be an area to watch.
Look at what's
because
look
that
at here
moisture
Monday.
that advects from the Gulf and towards the backside. We're definitely watching the potential for at least light to moderate accumulating snowfall, at the very least, across sections of the Ohio Valley. I mean,
look at this,
I've
Isaac.
seen what the models have been saying. Some moderate to heavy snow potentially as well. We can, I mean, the amounts may add up to in excess of over 6 inches or so. I'll have to look. I'm not entirely for sure, but I mean, I thought I saw something like that. I haven't really been paying close attention.
Monday.
Yeah.
Look at Monday.
Yeah, you can see that jet streak as it evolves into New York and towards New England. I mean, that jet streak is it's much more spread out on over there early next week. And what I'm going to do real quick is see if I can exit the streaming window. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm just seeing if there's any new updated guidance regarding the potential snow event across these areas. I'm not seeing any watches or anything right now, but I'm going
All
to
right, here's what Ian said again.
Some of the Weather Prediction Center accumulation.
All right. We got another message from Ian. He said they're marginating and the outlooks a slight risk may be warranted if surface-based capes can rise. And I think if we see that, Isaac, that jet streak, we could see a couple tornado warnings tomorrow, definitely.
Well, sure. We'll have to continue to watch the trends. Obviously, the instability has been trending a bit higher off the latest high resolution runs. We'll have to continue to keep an eye on that. So, in terms of accumulating snowfall potential across some parts of the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, towards eastern Indiana, parts of Ohio, looks like the threat is definitely highest. Potentially around the I-70 corridor, up towards Detroit, maybe.
There's
Toledo
1 kilometer sheared. Look at here.
Morning. And again, this is we're suggesting the potential for at least 2 to 4 inches of snow in some areas. And I mean, obviously heading into the 72-hour outlook, for that forecast period specifically, obviously heading into looks like the areas with the highest snowfall will potentially be eastern sections of Indiana, parts of northern Kentucky, parts of Ohio, and eastern sections of Michigan, where at least some 2 to 4 inch snowfall, locally heavier totals, maybe snowfall totals adding up to as much as locally 4 to maybe 6 inches from areas east so from Findlay to Mansfield to Marion, sections of higher elevations or higher ridges in Ohio. We'll just have to pay attention, or that would be just north of Columbus, Ohio, probably where some of these heavier totals may add up to that much. But I mean that is just a projection at this time. We'll have to watch the critical model guidance as we
So,
head into the next
and here's
several
some new
days.
tool, Isaac.
This is
Here,
into late Tuesday.
here's
I mean,
yeah, here's one yeah,
yes, JD.
here's 1 kilometer. Here's 1 kilometer. Can you see it?
Yeah, that is storm relative helicity. Yeah, that you can see how as that jet streak evolves. I mean, definitely we're watching the helicity there. I mean, that is just based within a kilometer, and then you can see that where the colors are purple, that is also accounting for stronger winds that are mixing in at the ground. So some stronger downdrafts as well. And like we've said here, if we see higher surface-based CAPE, or if we see trends that favor such, there may be an area across maybe parts of South Alabama towards Georgia into Florida, a small area. If we see those high enough surface-based CAPE values, potentially we may end up with a slight risk introduced sometime by tomorrow morning.
Or maybe
We'll have, or
enhanced.
maybe into the afternoon. I do not think we'll get that high unless we get much higher surface-based CAPE values and much stronger upper support than obviously we still have some uncertainties with regards to like how these will kind of converge into not just a multi-cell cluster, but if we get much stronger elevated instability forming out ahead of that main line, and that may potentially give us a situation that like normally in an enhanced risk, you would see more numerous severe storms, maybe some supercells that form ahead of that main system, and maybe some training areas um, of more elevated instability, discrete cells, um, and yeah, I mean, it has to do with how organized storms are. I mean, we're still in an uncertain period of time where we don't think that there's an immediate threat that the storms are going to be like. This is not necessarily going to be an outbreak at all. I mean, this is just a situation where we will have clusters of storms, some semi-discrete cells. Have that line that will again, with that helicity and everything just factored in, low level shear, we're definitely going to be concerned about some stronger downdrafts and mixing in, converging with that high surface based CAPE. So, I mean, potentially a couple of tornadoes, maybe a stronger tornado that is not cannot be ruled out. I mean, we'll have to watch. Um, we'll have to watch how this kind of converges.
It's 500
And yeah, you can
millibars.
see that. You can see that narrow trough. I mean, normally what you see is much stronger lift as well. We'll have to pay attention to that. When you have a strong trough like that, technically. So,
Let's see.
and
Trying
you
to
can
see
see
what else
the
we have
heights of
here.
low.
And here's the tornado threat for tomorrow on the SPC.
Okay.
It doesn't give it.
Yeah, and again, that 2% area, I will point out, stretches from sections of Louisiana up towards the Tennessee Valley, towards the Gulf Coast. Um, not much main areas of Florida, but towards the east, towards the southeast coast as well. We'll have to keep a close eye on that.
Yeah, make sure you have ways to get warnings tomorrow too. That's another thing that people need to be aware of. They need to have one.
STP. Okay, and again, that is just
And
one projection. Take everything there with. Okay. So
how
you
much
can see
do we
where the
have?
numbers are highest. That's where the strongest converging with surface-based heating, CAPE, like potential tornado energy with storms, and then combine that with the upper support, for like downdrafts, surface-based or like more elevated instability, how that converges with the surface and whatnot. So I mean, like that's where you potentially see a stronger rotation where you have enough directional wind shear. So we'll have to keep paying attention to that.
Here's surface. All right, here's surface base here now. So we'll see. This is all the models if you put them together. Look at here.
Oh, that is HREF. Oh, these are the trends on. Oh, okay.
And symbols.
Yeah, so it's good that
This
we have
is
a little
this
a bit
is
of a consensus there,
ensembles.
even with trends, that we have potentially enough surface-based CAPE in any, like if it's not confined to any particular area, there's still plenty of surface-based like tornado energy available. Like it's still there. We'll just have to watch and see how things evolve, because if like instability and shear things like that are only two of the main dynamics that support tornadoes. There's you would also want to have a strong moist environment for condensation, and then and then you'll have to have strong wind fields, and then combine near the like it's definitely strongest, and then pressure gradients, steep lapse rates. We'll have to pay attention to things like that. I'll have to look at a couple of soundings, and we'll relay some more information as we get there.
Draft. There's updraft heuristicity.
Okay. Well, we will bring you some more information as we get there. I am going to be hopping off. If you have any other information, just let me know.
Okay.